What about the prints? We have 3 very important prints coming out at 12:30 when we're going to close this session. Can you give us some tips as to what should we do about it? How should we act upon them?
We have
the core retail sales, the retail sales, and
PPI
the
and core
PPI.
Okay, so I would like to see, I believe that we are going to see lower than economists expected. Most of them at least will be lower than the economists' expectations, but higher than the previous months, or most of them will be higher than the previous months. These are my expectations looking at the current economic situation in the US market. Of course, we know that we have bad weather. We had a storm in the US, and that's why the retail sales should be lower. The GDP should be lower. We have a strong dollar that is weighing on the US economy, and that's why I'm expecting to lower prints.
And you think that one should act upon those prints today and trade the US dollar?
Okay, so in my view, we are going to see correction in the US dollar, but it is not clear, as the US dollar is very resilient. It is strong currency. We don't have a clear alternative. As for now, we don't have a clear alternative for the US dollar, as it's the strongest economy as for now. And that's why even if we will see a correction, it is not going to be a massive correction, as these figures are not the key figures that will change the map of the market.
So even though some major prints are coming today, you do not think they're going to affect the market to the point where the US dollar is going to completely change or shift?
Correct, but we can use
some bigger changes are coming up.
No, there won't be bigger changes, but we are going to we can trade it as a momentum trade. We can ride on the momentum. If we will see the US dollar weakening, we can ride on this weakness momentum, intraday temporary momentum, take the money and run, take immediate positions, but I would like to wait 5 minutes after the news in order to verify the market direction. I would like to see the first movement, I would like to see the first reaction or impact of the news. Market participants, high liquidity usually, and a higher participation rate in the market around the news, but I would like to wait and see what is going to happen, and I will join the preferred direction. This is how we do it, but I'm going to do it temporarily. If we are going to see
the momentum.
Correct. If we are going to see much better than expected prints, we are going to see definitely upbeat movement by the US dollar, although it is overbought. This is my prediction. 1.5 minutes from now. So
we'll probably we'll all see it later. So SuperTraders.
More important, the most important figure for today and tomorrow, we are going to start with that. We have the Chinese GDP print, the yearly, the annualized GDP, which is very, very important. It is going to affect the Aussie, the New Zealand dollar, maybe the entire market. But looking at the Chinese GDP, the correlation to the Aussie is the strongest. It's critical. I think that we are going to see it around economists' expectations, and around 7. The last one was 7.3, and it is one of the lowest prints during the last few years. So the economy is growing, but in a slower
pace than expected.
Yes, exactly. So
so we'll wait for that. That's going to happen tomorrow in our London session.
Correct.
So today we bought some New Zealand dollar. We bought some Aussie.
Correct.
We made sure to work them with other weak currencies in the market.
Exactly. We didn't trade it versus the US dollar, which is very important. If you would like to trade relatively weak currency and to take the correction, you wouldn't like to do it versus a relatively strong currency, but against the
another
relatively
weak.
The weakest
they're relatively against the weakest.
Yes, so pound and euro are the weakest, and now we can see some nervous in the market. Let's see the print and finalize the trading session.
Okay, the prints
are
coming up.
Perfect.
Ooh.
So in just few seconds, 15 seconds, the market is waiting for this news.
Wow.
Let's see if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah. Live.
All right.
Is it coming out?
Coming out in a few seconds.
Coming out in a few seconds.
The market is waiting. Okay, the US dollar is rising. This is the first impact. A strong movement by the US dollar to the
Strong
upside.
movement.
Wow. All right. Take a look. Please take a look at
Yes.
the
Mine is still refreshing.
Okay. Take a look. Now, please,
Mine is
please,
still
please
refreshing.
take a look.
Oh, you were right. Look at him. It's his computer of secrets that's telling him everything. Everything's coming out worse than expected, other than
Take
the
a
core
look.
PPI monthly.
Okay, core retail sales. I said that it's going to be less than 0.7, but
Yes.
higher than the previous months.
Yeah.
PPI, I told you it's going to be between 0.3
I
to
think
0.2.
you should do the forecasts.
Yeah, 0.3 to 0.2. It came out 0. Everything is exactly as we mentioned, and we can see that the US dollar is weakening, the euro is bouncing sharply, all the currencies are bouncing against the US dollar. So right now it is great that we took the current. This
is the long term.
This is the long term. Let's take a look at our open position, binary option.
Binary options. Let's choose the product.
Just go to the here, binary options. We have a clear view on the market. I'm expecting that the euro will weaken a little bit more versus the New Zealand dollar, and of course the Swiss franc will weaken as well. By the end of the day, I'm expecting that at least 4 out of these 5 positions will end up in the money. So we did the right choice, I think. And now this is the point where I will look for a rebound in favor of New Zealand dollar, in favor of Aussie versus the US dollar. But I would like to wait for the second wave of the impact. The first impact was very clear. The US dollar is under a sell-off, temporary sell-off momentum.
Rush. Wait for a moment. See how the first movements go. And
I can see our director. He has some currency dollars in his account, and he's afraid that the US dollar is going to collapse. So don't be afraid. It's only temporary. It's temporary. We will take the advantage of the immediate movement against the US dollar. Now the expectation for interest rates are going to be lower, but it's temporary, and we are going to look for some correction, some profit-taking process in later on. Exactly. So
we're keeping it as it is right now.
As it is.
Looks
fantastic.
good.
Looks very good.
And tomorrow we'll be able to activate